The U.S. passport is losing its luster. When I first got my passport back in 2019, it was damn near the top of the list when it came to passport strength, being able to enter many countries without a visa.
One of the things I didn't know is border agents have a lot of authority. Listen, they can send you home because they want to.
But you should know, just because you have an American passport does not guarantee you or does not give you a fast pass into someone else's country. Remember when having American passport was the gold standard? I mean, it is still the gold standard. American passport can get you into so many countries without you actually applying for a visa. You just book your ticket, pick up your blue passport, and you're good to go. And then when you get there, they don't give you a hard time of you entering their country. They just ask you a few questions and then they stamp your passport and you're on your way. But nowadays, more and more people are coming online, sharing their stories of how they got denied into certain countries. So I'm just going to show you a few videos of people complaining about how they got denied entry into certain countries.
The U.S. passport is losing its luster. When I first got my passport back in 2019, it was damn near the top of the list when it came to passport strength, being able to enter many countries without a visa. The last time I went to Mexico, we did not require a visa to enter. I know that's changed since then. The Bahamas in December of last year did not require a visa. Japan this year, Thailand as well. Neither required a visa, but we are scheduled to go to Vietnam at the end of this week, and it required a visa to enter, and you had to apply with 7 to 10 days to process it, and it took all of 7 days, and my wife's is still pending, and we're leaving here in 2 days. So the U.S. passport has steadily fallen down the ranks. So if you have plans to travel to leave the U.S., you will have a more complicated journey to certain countries depending on where you're going. It's just very interesting, particularly when it comes to Vietnam, the countries that are able to enter visa free. I mean, Russia is even on the list, and a couple of South American countries, nowhere in Central America, several Asian countries can get in without a visa, but it's very telling that the U.S. is not on the list for entry without a visa, causing complicated travel. It's just not as easy to hop around. So again, be forewarned. I know with the cut down in government roles, particularly in the State Department, that getting a passport is more difficult than it was. We renewed my daughter's at the end of December. I just got a sinking feeling that we had to do that ASAP, knowing that we were going to be leaving this year. So we got that done pretty quickly, and it was expedited under the previous administration. So, just some things to be aware of if you are looking to get a passport or travel on a passport here soon.
Citizens are being denied entry into Mexico. Check out this video.
Today we're in Mexico, they're not letting us in.
Todos los que son nacidos en Estados Unidos traen un pasaporte, sí o sí pasaporte.
Today we're walking into Mexico and we're getting denied entry. Check it out.
Sí, tienen que traer pasaporte cuando tienen que traer un pasaporte, sí o sí pasaporte, porque las
Pero ya cambió con el Trump, ¿verdad? Que el Trump cambió todo, so ustedes ya es más difícil, ¿verdad?
And this is exactly why I've been telling you guys again and again to get your dual citizenship. I have never gotten a visa in my life. I have never paid to go into Mexico. I know nothing about that. I've been hearing rumors that Mexico is going to start asking people visiting from the US for visas to enter Mexico. There's no reason why you shouldn't have a Mexican passport in 2025. It's literally free, and it's never been easier. I mean, but if you guys are okay with continuously having to pay fees to go into Mexico, having to get visas, that's your problem. You can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. But anyways, let me know what you guys think.
If you are a U.S. passport holder, this is a cautionary tale for those of you who have been traveling and living abroad, and for those of you considering it. Every place we go is not happy to see us. Many of you have heard about the xenophobia in France. Not really happy to see us and not feeling very welcomed. Well, my experience was at the border. So this is actually part 2 of being denied entry into the UK. Traveling as an American, there's a privilege and an expectation I think that we have. And this is just being honest. We don't expect to have the challenges that we see broadcast on media and social media. We see it all the time, other countries, whether they're entering the US or entering other countries, how they're mistreated, how they are denied entry, how they go through additional searches that others don't have to go through. Their experience is really traumatic. And I've never really been on that side of the entry process when it comes to my passport and going through borders until I was entering the UK at the beginning of this year. And because I'm an American, I just feel I show my passport. They generally ask you general questions. Where are you going? How long you're going to be here? And they let you move on. But in this situation, it was a border agent. And you know when you look at somebody, you can kind of see something about this is not going to go right. But unfortunately, there's no way around it. You have to go through border to get through. And so just to put for a little bit of context, I was going from the Netherlands to the UK by train. I've traveled by train between the two before. I've even traveled by bus, but I've always avoided London airports because I've heard of the horror stories of even sometimes Americans saying going through London airports, I'm harassed, all these bad experiences. So I figured I'll go with the train. I mean, it's not that much more expensive or less expensive. For me, kind of is because I carry a lot of luggage. So I save on a lot of the airport check bag fees. I've gotten really good at navigating the train system, so it's pretty much easy for me. So I figured path of least resistance. So I'm going into the UK. I'm booked on Eurostar on the last train for the day from the Netherlands to the UK. I get to the border agent. She asks me, where are you going? And how long you're going to be here. And I made a mistake and said, I'm not sure yet. Because I wasn't. I travel full time. If any of you watch my videos, you know I've been traveling the world for 2.5 years. I'm a residency collector. And so I don't know. Most times when I go someplace, I stay as long as I want to stay within the laws and the regulations of our passport. So I said, I'm not sure yet. And that was her window to this very uncomfortable experience. So the questions kept coming. So what do you mean? Well, where are you going next? And I was like, well, I think Turkey, but maybe back to the Netherlands. Like I'm really just saying what's in my head because I'm not thinking there's any consequence for me not knowing. Because look, at the end of the day, it's not illegal for people to travel. I wasn't breaking any rules, but I wasn't giving her the answers that she wanted. And so the interrogation continues. It gets worse and worse. And so I started telling her, okay, well, I can book a flight and then I can just show you the receipt. And she didn't want solutions. That's what was the red flag for me. The questions that she had, if I didn't have an answer and she seemed to have a problem with it, I said, oh, I can solve that right now. I can just buy a ticket or whatever. She didn't want solutions. And so when she realized that my solutions were tied to me using my phone, her attitude changed drastically. One of the things I didn't know is border agents have a lot of authority. Listen, they can send you home because they want to. They don't have to go. I mean, they can deny you. Border agents have a lot of latitude in terms of how they apply the law. If they feel like they don't want to let you through, they don't have to. They don't have to. I did not know this. I did not understand how much power border agents have. So be mindful of that when you're talking to them. And mind you, I was completely respectful was never disrespectful, never raised my voice, tried to answer any questions she gave me, but I did have a baffled look on my face because I couldn't understand why I was getting these questions. And I was asking her, have I done something illegal? So anyway, she's asking me more questions. And so when I tried to use my phone to resolve the issues or show any information, she said, stop looking at your phone when I'm talking to you. I was like, well, I'm trying to get information. She said, are you not following my orders? Like, it got real wicked. So she wouldn't let me use my phone. And so she started saying, I don't feel comfortable. You're not giving me answers that are sufficient. Go sit over there. So she made me go sit down. Now, mind you, only 2 hours. I got there early. So there may be an hour now at this point between the train leaving. It's the last one for the night. So she comes over to me in the sitting area and she goes into these questions. So, but before she had me go over, I was, she was like, well, why are you traveling? I said, well, I just travel the world. I want to see the world. And when she said, well, why do you get to travel the world? I knew that this was not going to turn out well, because what type of question is that? And so she put me in like this little seating areas right in front of the place where you pass the border. So it wasn't in a closed room or anything. It was out in the open. And so I'm dragging all my bags and luggage to go sit in this area. And then she comes over and starts interrogating me again. And she starts saying, well, how do you make your money? And, I start trying to explain to her again, I don't have a 9-to-5, y'all. I quit that toxic life. I have multiple streams of income, which all of you should have if you're planning on leaving the U.S. So, I'm not giving her a whole lot, but just enough to say I'm fine. And then she starts asking me questions about, well, where do you live in the U.S.? Well, how many bedrooms are in your home in the U.S.? What? Who pays for your home in the U.S.? Who do you live with in the U.S.? Are they married? And you could tell she knew it was agitating me and my facial expression. And I said to her, I'm not understanding why you need the answers to these questions. She got belligerent. You're refusing to answer my questions. Are you telling me you're not going to answer my questions? So she walks away. Then she makes me come all the way back up. Look, it went on for probably 30 minutes or so. Inside, I was really rattled, but on the outside, I wouldn't show that because I knew she was really trying to agitate me. I hadn't done anything wrong. So ultimately, she allows this questioning process to go on until the train leaves, because I could have given her what she wanted, but she didn't want that. So she says, well, you're not getting on this train. I'm going to set an appointment where you're going to come back for the interrogation tomorrow and I'll decide the time. If you want to go through, or you could just go back home to the U.S. That she always finished her points with that. You could always go back home to the U.S. So anyway, I went and got a hotel. I was terrified. Talked to an immigration attorney. Just so happened the person I was going to see was an immigration attorney. Talk about the universe. So I didn't sleep a wink. I was tired. I was researching, trying to figure out how do you get through this? What do you say? What do you do? I even contacted a family friend and said, listen, if you don't hear from me, I may be detained. Figure out something. If you don't hear from me within 24 hours, I was really rattled. I was really frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And so this immigration attorney stayed up with me past midnight, I know, just coaching me about the interrogation process, what to expect, what to say, what to do, and what to do in the future to avoid this type of situation. He talked about the laws that are changing. So be careful out there, Americans. Your passport doesn't mean you escape harassment. So stay tuned.
And you guys making me Canada is criminal.
No.
So this is discrimination.
No. So
for a United States people of America.
Okay.
This is discrimination,
well,
sir.
after you replay the video to your lawyer, and your lawyer sees that we're working off evidence and facts. So when we run your name in our Canadian databases, you have a record. And when we take the evidence from your record and we equate it to Canadian criminal law, you're inadmissible to Canada. So you can interpret that however you want. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, ethnicity, religion, anything. We're making that decision based off an equation of your record in our systems and Canadian criminal law. So however you would like to interpret it, that's up to you.
You can give me time because I can told the Ranjit Singh if he have attorney. So because you take all the information, my friend information, my godfather information. You don't take even my information, you take everybody information.
No, we have your information. Your passport's right.
No, but you take my godfather information, Ranjit Singh information, my American friend
What do you mean
information,
you take their information?
like phone number and names.
So part of doing your inadmissibility or your examination to see if you're admitted into Canada, to see if you're allowed to come into Canada, is asking you about what you're going to be doing here, who you're
Right.
staying with, to see if you're a genuine
Sikh
visitor.
temple, we wanna go Sikh temple,
Okay.
and we pray over there.
Okay.
So if you Canada stop the pray, I can go back.
So again, when you replay the video, you're going to see that this has nothing to do with your religion, has nothing.
That's the religion thing. I tell everybody I'm spiritual,
And I can respect
and
that,
I
but-
told you I have no religion.
Okay, so this has nothing to do with religion, has nothing to do with anything about that. It has everything to do with your criminal record that makes you inadmissible.
I have no criminal record.
Okay, so I'm not going to play the game anymore, filming, and you can film all you want.
This is no game.
Well, you're making it into.
I came from America,
You're
United
making
States.
it. That's great. You're making this. Into a game.
I'm coming from United States, America.
Okay.
I'm American citizen.
That's
I have a right to film because you're refusing me to.
I told you to film. I actually said, by all means, you
Yeah,
need to film.
you're refusing me to stay Canada 7 days.
Okay, so
So basically, you make me criminal here,
I didn't make you a criminal.
right? Because you don't know,
your
you don't know the
criminal record
paper.
makes
It might have a no criminal record. That's what I'm trying to
you-
explain
you want
you.
me to print the paper out?
Can you please?
No problem. I'll do that for you.
Can you please
Yeah, I will.
show me where is criminal?
I'll show you. And then after that, we can go to the next stage because the game back and forth. I don't have time to go back and forth. I've explained it to you. I've been respectful to you, and you're turning this into a game.
You sending me back? This is no respect.
I'm sending you back because you're inadmissible, and I've told you that many times.
Can you please print?
Have any plans of vacationing in any of these Latin countries, you better get your money back. Because right now, Americans is being up under attack and terrorized in some of these Latin countries, like Venezuela, Mexico, and other countries that's in alliance. And you got a lot of white people at these airports that's coming back home because they are being deported and kicked out the country. Discrimination is real, especially when you see whites being discriminated against. You rarely ever see it because blacks are accustomed to being discriminated against. And let's be technically honest. We know the real reason is because of Donald Trump's and his policies and the fact that these countries are being invaded and being given an ultimatum because they choose as a sovereign country to do business with China. And like I told you before, that's one of a country that move in any form of immorality, eventually they're going to cripple themselves. And that's what America doing. Enforcing policies and threatening these other countries to be in alliance, in agreement with their policies to basically control their minerals and their government. But at the same time, using the media and
Honestly, having an American passport is one of the best passports you can ever have. Because American passport actually open the gates for you to enter so many countries. So many countries you can go without you actually getting a visa. You can just pick up your passport and you just go. But now things are changing because of all the rules and regulations that America has imposed on other countries. So I feel like other countries are also retaliating by them also putting rules and regulations on Americans coming into their countries. You know what I mean? Even though most countries depend on their tourism, especially Mexico. Mexico is like right here on the border. Like most Americans when they're going on vacation, they go to Mexico, but now they're requiring American citizens and other people coming into their country to get a visa. Before, you don't need a visa to go to Mexico. You just pick up your passport and you go to Mexico. But now Mexican government is requiring Americans and other tourists to get a visa before they come inside their country. Why? Because of all the sanctions and rules and laws of that was imposed on their people. So I feel like it's retaliation of them also. Most Americans are surprised when they get to other countries and they deny them entry, or they give them a hard time for them to enter the country because they don't have a visa, because before they didn't need a visa. You just take your passport and you just go. But now I feel like now, before we travel, we have to do our research. You have to do your proper research. You have to go on the country that you're going. You have to go on their state website or their country website, to read about the travel laws. If you need a visa, the new rules and regulations that have been put in place in 2026. We are now in a new year, so a lot of things have changed. Even you traveling from America has changed. America now have so much rules now. Even to go from domestic travel has even changed. You need a physical ID at airport now for you to get on a plane. So I don't think that most countries have the same rules or laws that they had years prior. I think now for you to go to other countries, you have to do your due diligence. You have to go to the website and make sure what the requirements are. You don't want to surprise yourself by going, paying all this money, getting on flight like thousands and thousands of miles away, and then you get to your destination and then you're being denied entry because you don't have the proper requirement of you entering their country. You know what I mean? I think most people are surprised, because they are now requiring Americans to obtain a visa before they can actually enter the country. I think that's where the problem lies. The problem lies the fact that before now, most Americans can just pick up their passport and go wherever they want to go. The blue passport was your ticket. It gets you access. It got a lot of people access to so many countries. But now I feel like because of everything that is going on and how Americans are treating other people that are coming into America, I feel like other countries are also retaliating against American citizens going into their country. So for example, Nigeria, Namibia, Burkina Faso, even the UK. Now you have to, it's UK. UK was supposed to be an American ally, but now you need a visa to go to UK. Like before, I don't think you needed a visa to go to the UK. You can just book your ticket, pick your passport, and you can just go. But now most countries are requiring a visa, and I think American travelers are surprised the fact that they have to get a visa before they can enter a different country. But you should know, just because you have an American passport does not guarantee you or does not give you a fast pass into someone else's country. Because when you're coming to your country, they don't have it that easy. They don't just pick up their passport and just book a ticket and come to America. You know what I mean? They have to apply for a visa. They have to do they have to prove and show so many documents for them to come. You know what I mean? Like, to come to America, it's not easy. I think what is going on right now is just a surprise of Americans now have to have a visa to go to a different country. But I don't think this is supposed to be a surprise. We are not supposed to get surprised because of everything that is going on. You can't treat other people badly and expect them to treat you nicely. You know what I mean? I feel like love is supposed to be reciprocate. You treat me with respect, I treat you with respect. But you're not about to treat my people terribly and disrespectful, and you expect me to treat your people. Granted, most countries, you can still use your blue passport and enter a lot of countries without them actually requiring a visa. You just book your ticket and you go. But you just make sure you have to know those countries. Don't get surprised when you go to a country like, I don't know, Thailand or something, and then now they're asking you for a visa for you to enter. You know what I mean? Or they're detaining you at immigration because you don't have the proper documents. But I feel like we have to do our due diligence. We have to do our research. If we are traveling, we have to know the rules of the country that we are about to go. We have to know everything that they need to know before we actually book that ticket. Whatever it is that you treat someone, they're going to treat you the same way. So I think that's what is going on right now. But thank you for let me know what you think about this story down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.